You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And if you want more discipline in your life, don't wait for motivation. Build the ritual that makes discipline automatic. Discipline isn't about grinding harder, it's about designing smarter. In this video, I'll share the one daily ritual that can multiply your discipline, sharpen your focus, and make consistency your superpower. If you've struggled to stay on track, it's not your fault, it's your system. Let's fix that. Let's build the ritual that changes everything. Number one, start small, win big. Discipline doesn't begin with a grand gesture. It begins with a small win. One tiny deliberate action that sends a message to your brain. I'm the kind of person who follows through. The biggest mistake people make when trying to become more disciplined is starting too big. They plan to run 5 miles a day after being sedentary for months. They commit to writing 1,000 words every morning, even though they haven't journaled in years. The goal is noble, but the execution is unsustainable. And when they miss a day, or worse, burn out after 3, they tell themselves they're lazy or weak. They're not. They're just trying to sprint before they've learned to walk. The truth is this: small actions done consistently beat massive efforts done occasionally. Think about a rocket launch. The first 2 minutes require 90% of the fuel. Getting started is the hardest part, but once you're off the ground, momentum does the heavy lifting. Discipline works the same way. You don't need to do something amazing every day. You just need to begin. That's where your daily ritual comes in. Your ritual should be so easy you can't talk yourself out of it. Want to build a reading habit? Start by reading 1 page. Want to journal every morning? Just write 1 sentence. Want to meditate? Sit down and take 3 slow, intentional breaths. That's it. These actions sound small, and they are, but they're powerful because they flip the switch. They shift your identity. You stop thinking, I'm someone who should be more disciplined, and you start thinking, I'm someone who is disciplined. I show up. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You don't need to transform overnight. You just need to cast a few more votes each day. The goal isn't to impress anyone with your morning routine. The goal is to win the first battle of the day. And that first win, it sets the tone for everything that follows. Here's another key. When you start small, you remove friction. You lower the resistance. You make showing up feel light, not heavy. And what you'll find almost magically is that most days, once you start, you do more than you planned. You read 5 pages. You write a full paragraph. You meditate for 10 minutes. But even if you don't, you still win. Because you kept the promise to yourself. That's what matters. Discipline isn't a personality trait. It's a muscle. And muscles grow through reps. Starting small gives you more reps, more wins, and more belief in your ability to follow through. So forget the all or nothing mindset. Replace it with always something. That's the secret. Want to multiply your discipline? Shrink the ritual until it fits into the smallest pocket of your day, and then repeat it every day, no matter what. That's how big things begin. That's how you build discipline that lasts. Number 2, anchor it to an existing habit. If you've ever struggled to stay consistent, the problem likely isn't your motivation, it's your memory. You want to do the thing, you plan to do the thing, but somehow life happens and the day slips by. That's why one of the most powerful ways to multiply your discipline is to anchor your new habit to something you already do every single day. This concept is called habit stacking, and it works because it eliminates the guesswork. Instead of wondering when or where to do your new ritual, you link it to a habit that's already deeply ingrained in your daily routine. It becomes automatic. Think of your existing habits as hooks on a wall. They're already holding things up. Your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, checking your phone, walking the dog. What you're going to do is hang your new discipline building habit on one of those hooks. Here's what it looks like in practice. After I make my morning coffee, I'll write 1 sentence in my journal. After I brush my teeth at night, I'll do 5 minutes of stretching. After I eat lunch, I'll take 3 deep breaths and reset my mind. These are simple, tiny actions. But when you attach them to a pre-existing behavior, they become automatic. Over time, your brain begins to associate the first action with the second. Coffee means journaling. Toothbrush means stretching. Lunch means breathing. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. This technique is powerful because it removes the biggest friction point in building discipline: decision fatigue. When you have to decide when or how to start something, you create a tiny moment of resistance, and those moments stack. But when your ritual is tied to a habit you already do without thinking, you cut through the noise. You make it easier to follow through. Here's something else to remember: your brain craves patterns. It loves predictability. Every time you repeat this anchor habit combination, you're wiring a new loop into your brain. It's not discipline powered by will, it's discipline powered by design. And this design doesn't have to be perfect. You can experiment, try different anchors, and see what's. Maybe journaling works better after your morning shower. Maybe your best time for reflection is right before you turn off the lights. The goal is to find a natural rhythm that feels effortless to maintain. Discipline becomes sustainable when it feels like part of your life, not an interruption to it. That's the magic of anchoring. You're not just creating a new habit, you're building it on top of a solid foundation. You're turning scattered intentions into a predictable pattern. And in doing so, you're multiplying your consistency, one small anchor at a time. So take a look at your day. What are the habits you already do without fail? That's your gold mine. Pick one, attach your new ritual, and watch your discipline grow stronger, one link at a time. Number 3, keep it sacred, not negotiable. If you want to multiply your discipline, there's one shift you must make. Stop treating your daily ritual like a suggestion and start treating it like a sacred appointment. Most people approach discipline like it's optional. They'll get to it if they have time, if they're in the mood, if nothing else gets in the way. But here's the truth. If your most important habits are negotiable, life will always negotiate them away from you. Think about the things in your life that are non-negotiable. Your job, your kids' school pickup, your mortgage payment. You don't skip those things because they're fixed in your calendar and your mind. They matter. You've given them weight. And that's exactly how you need to treat your ritual. Make it sacred. Sacred means it's not up for debate. It's not a matter of convenience. It's a matter of identity. You don't do it because it's easy. You do it because it's who you are. That shift in mindset is what turns scattered effort into unshakable discipline. So how do you make it sacred? First, schedule it. Don't just say you'll try to do it in the morning. That's vague. Set a specific time, 7:30 a.m. right after breakfast, or 9 p.m. just before bed. Put it in your calendar like a meeting with your future self, because that's exactly what it is. Your ritual isn't just about today. It's an investment in the person you're becoming. Second, protect it. Treat it with the same respect you'd give to a doctor's appointment or a job interview. If someone asks to meet at that time, say you're booked, because your time, your focus, your growth. That's the meeting. Third, ritualize it. Create a small routine around the ritual itself that signals to your brain, this matters. Light a candle, put your phone in another room, play the same song each time. These small cues add emotional weight and make the habit feel intentional. Repetition builds identity, and ritual builds reverence. Fourth, keep the streak alive. Once you've done the ritual 3, 5, 10 days in a row, it becomes a point of pride. Missing a day isn't just about missing an action, it's about breaking a promise. Sacred things are protected because they represent something greater. They're not about productivity, they're about purpose. And here's what's amazing. Once you start treating your ritual as sacred, the people around you start respecting it too. They notice your consistency, they sense the importance, and that external respect reinforces your internal commitment. In the beginning, discipline is a decision. But when your ritual becomes sacred, discipline becomes a lifestyle. So ask yourself, what if this small habit wasn't just something I do, but something I stand for? What if it represented my commitment to myself, to my goals, to my growth? That's the power of making your daily ritual non-negotiable. It's not about intensity, it's about integrity. And when you build integrity into your habits, discipline isn't something you fight for, it's something you own. Number 4, track it visibly. If you want to multiply your discipline, you must make your progress visible. Because what you can see, you can measure, and what you can measure, you can improve. Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to build a new habit, and after a few days, found yourself wondering, am I actually making progress? Is this even working? That uncertainty is a silent killer. It drains motivation and opens the door for excuses. That's why tracking your daily ritual isn't just helpful, it's essential. When you track your habit visually, on paper, on a whiteboard, in a journal, or with an app, you do 2 powerful things. You give your brain a hit of satisfaction every time you follow through. You build a streak that creates momentum you don't want to break. James Clear calls this the power of the Seinfeld strategy, named after comedian Jerry Seinfeld. Early in his career, Seinfeld used a simple method to keep himself writing every day. He put a big wall calendar on his wall, and every day he wrote, he marked a giant red X through that day. After a few days, he had a chain, and his only goal was not to break the chain. It sounds simple, but it works because it taps into something primal, our desire for progress and completion. When you can see your effort, you're more likely to continue it. The streak becomes its own reward, and that daily X becomes a small silent promise to yourself. I don't miss twice. There's another layer to this. Tracking gives you clarity. It removes the guesswork. No more wondering how often you skipped or whether you've been consistent. You'll know. And when you can see the gaps, you can fix them. When you can see the wins, you can celebrate them. Data builds self-awareness, and self-awareness builds discipline. Your tracking method doesn't have to be fancy. A simple calendar, a bullet journal, a habit tracker app, even a sticky note with a tally count. The key is to make it visible. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day, on your fridge, your desk, your bathroom mirror. Let it serve as a visual cue and a quiet challenge. Don't break the chain. And if you miss a day, that's okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is resilience. Use a red circle, draw a line, note the miss, but recommit. What breaks people isn't missing once, it's missing and then deciding the habit's not worth continuing. But if you've got the proof right in front of you, that long streak of days you showed up, you're more likely to get back on track. Remember, discipline is about consistency, not intensity. And the easiest way to stay consistent is to make your progress undeniable. Don't rely on memory, rely on markers. Track your ritual, make it visible, build your chain. Because every X is more than just a mark on a page, it's a vote for the person you're becoming. Number 5, prepare the night before. Discipline doesn't start in the morning, it starts the night before. Most people believe the battle for discipline begins when the alarm rings, but by then, you've already lost or won, based on what you did or didn't do the night before. If you wake up to a messy room, unclear priorities, and no plan, you're asking your sleepy, decision-fatigued brain to suddenly summon motivation. That's a losing game. Preparation is the secret weapon of disciplined people. It removes friction, it reduces resistance, and most importantly, it replaces morning chaos with clarity. Want to build a rock-solid ritual? Start by making it effortless to begin. Here's the strategy. Preload the action. If you want to journal in the morning, leave your notebook open on your desk with a pen beside it. If your goal is to work out, lay out your clothes, shoes, and water bottle the night before. If you want to read, place your book on your pillow or bedside table, not tucked away on a shelf. These small deliberate actions eliminate decisions and create a smooth on-ramp to discipline. Because here's the truth, discipline doesn't break down at the doing stage. It breaks down at the starting stage. We get overwhelmed by inertia. The task seems too far away, but when you've already paved the path the night before, the resistance, you don't have to find the motivation. It's already waiting for you. And it's not just about physical preparation. Mental preparation is just as important. Before bed, take 2-3 minutes to review your intention for tomorrow. Ask yourself, what is the one action I will not skip? What time will I do it? What do I need to have ready? This kind of mental rehearsal plants a flag in your future. It gives your brain clear instructions. And when you wake up, you won't be scrambling to remember what matters. You'll already know. You're not planning your day out of rigidity. You're planning it out of respect for your goals. That's what discipline really is. Respect in action. When you prepare the night before, you're sending a message to yourself. This matters. I matter. My future matters. And that self-respect turns into self-trust. The more you trust yourself to follow through, the less effort it takes to do so. Momentum builds. Confidence grows. The cycle of discipline begins to feed itself. Let's be clear. Preparation doesn't need to take an hour. This isn't about perfection or elaborate routine. It's about removing the excuses and making it easy to begin. Just 5 minutes of preparation can save you from 30 minutes of hesitation. Because when you wake up to a clear path, you walk it. When you wake up to a cluttered mess, you avoid it. Discipline isn't built in the heat of the moment. It's built quietly, in the calm before, while the world is still asleep. You're already positioning yourself for success. So tonight, set your future self up to win. Prepare with intention. Because every morning, you don't have to decide whether to be disciplined, you just are. Number 6, reflect and adjust weekly. Discipline isn't rigid, it's responsive. And if you want to build discipline that multiplies over time, you can't just do the habit, you have to review it. That's why the final step in your daily ritual system is this: reflect and adjust weekly. Here's the truth most people miss. Discipline is a dynamic process. It's not about locking yourself into a routine forever. It's about learning what works, refining what doesn't, and evolving your system to fit your life. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of mastery. Every week, pick a day, maybe Sunday or Friday. Set aside just 10 minutes to reflect. Grab a journal, open a notes app, or just sit with a cup of coffee and ask yourself 3 powerful questions. What did I do well this week? Where did I fall short? And why? What small adjustment can I make next week? These questions aren't about judgment. They're about awareness. Because self-awareness is the foundation of self-discipline. When you reflect, you start to notice patterns. Maybe you're crushing your morning habit Monday through Thursday, but falling off Friday to Sunday. Maybe you're staying consistent, but the habit feels stale and uninspiring. Maybe the ritual that worked last month isn't aligned with your current goals. Instead of pushing harder, step back and zoom out. Use the data you've gathered from your visible tracking, point 4, your preparation, point 5, and your anchored habit, point 2. Reflection connects the dots. And here's what makes this powerful. When you reflect consistently, you stop guessing and start designing. You don't just repeat habits, you refine them. Maybe you realize that 5 minutes of journaling is more sustainable than maybe a morning workout fits better after breakfast instead of before. Maybe a new location, like a reading chair by the window, adds joy and makes you look forward to your ritual. Tiny adjustments, made intentionally, can unlock massive consistency. Why? Because they keep the habit fresh. They eliminate friction, and most importantly,
They give you ownership of the process. When you're in charge, you're more committed. This weekly reflection also protects you from one of the biggest killers of discipline, discouragement. Too many people quit because they don't feel like they're winning. But when you reflect weekly, you'll see the progress. You'll notice how you bounced back from a bad day, how you kept the streak alive even when life got messy. That kind of awareness builds belief, and belief is fuel for discipline. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Even if you fall off track, a weekly reflection gives you a chance to course correct before a one-day slip turns into a one-month spiral. That's real discipline, not never failing, but never staying stuck. So schedule your weekly check-in, make it sacred, keep it simple, because when you reflect, you adapt. When you adapt, you improve. And when you improve, even by 1% a week, your discipline doesn't just add up, it compounds. That's how small rituals become life-changing routines. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary results.